So today our topic of discussion is that matrix transformation or matrix equation of basic rotating machine. So here, while discussing this rotating machine, we would like to highlight or draw a very simple commutator machine using means that was used by Professor Cron. We will draw that. It is like a simple machine. So this is a basic commutator machine. Sometimes we say it is a primitive machine with two-pole configuration. The pair of brushes are here at our q-axis. That actually indicates that means this quadratic position of brushes determined with respect to this field winding. Now, one thing, as I have already mentioned during discussion of DC machine, that it is only electrically placed in quadrature, but in physical machine it may place anywhere depending on the end connection, and it will just means we just need to place it in this way to make sure that the coil that is means undergoing commutation through these carbon brushes are electrically at quadrature with respect to the field axis position. Now, the voltage equation we can write based on a few assumptions. What are those assumptions? And uh, means before writing the assumptions, first let us identify what are the voltages we should be thinking about, and what are the individual components of those voltage. Here you can see we are having three voltages. One is VQ, VD, and this VD. So one sort of voltage is our terminal voltage, or you can say voltages also, because there are many voltages. The second is the resistance drop at winding. Third is the voltage due to changing current in the winding itself, that is the self induced voltage. Now another part is that for current in different winding you can have a voltage. That is our we can write it like voltage induced, just let me check, yeah, it's recording, due to another winding current, that is our mutually induced voltage. Then what else we can have? In armature circuit, there will be dynamically induced voltages. So considering this, what we get, that is often called as Maxwell Lorentz equations, that are for this simple machine. Let us go to next page because we have reached to the end of that page. In armature circuit, in D axis of armature circuit, it is Ra Id plus Ld Id plus G dq theta dot iq plus m dd p id. I am going to explain all the currents. Oh, sorry. Please keep it in your mind that even if I write it in the current should always be written in superscript, because then only the idea behind writing current in superscript, current indices in superscript form is that they can give us the means indices wise matching we can only achieve if we place them in superscript. And also the beauty of this representation is when we do multiplication like what we observed during power invariance, that the voltage indices and current indices cancel out each other, right? So that goes well with the physical understanding of the system. So although this representation is a bit weird and we are not means habituated with this kind of representation, but here in case of electrical machine representation in this transformation form, representing machine using this kind of representation is always means of a great help, right? Now another equation what you can have. So first let us identify what are the equations and what these constant indicate. First of all, theta dot is equal to d theta by dt is in angular velocity, and its unit is radian per second, and therefore it has the dimension of time inverse. Now this g dq, then this, and here these three constants depends on the permeance of the machine. G constants depend on the not machine, better to say on the permeance of the magnetic circuit. Right. What about their dimension? All the G's, how they are related? See, they are related like you are see this PID, doing this PID in steady state. What we know that P is equal to j omega, or P can be viewed as P. How we define the operator P? P was defined as d dt. So therefore P is having a dimension of time inverse. Here you can see that what we are doing here, if we compare these two terms, then only you can get about some idea about this. See, when you are writing or trying to express a voltage in any mathematical equation, you are obliged to match the dimension requirement. Like here, if it is voltage, you cannot have current or voltage rate of change of voltage here in your right side. So this GQD theta dot ID, clearly this is ID here. P was having a dimension of time inverse, and theta dot is also having a dimension of time inverse. Therefore, what we can conclude, the dimension of LD, that was inductance, and this G, that must also have the dimension of inductance. So all the G's must have the dimension of inductance. Right. Now we have to understand the sign convention of these two terms. Like here, minus sign are there in front of this and this. Why they are carrying minus sign, or they are preceded by minus sign, that we need to understand. Here, see that uh, the positive currents ID, let us assume the positive current I, oh God, ID and I capital D are assumed to uh, uh, will magnetize the core, or the is part of the core from left to right. Here you can see when the current is flowing in this way, so that indicates it is doing it left to right. Similarly, this one also left to right, right? Now armature conductors that are in the vicinity of your uh, right hand dip brush, right, this right hand dip brush, therefore they would have generated means EMF that is perpendicular to the plane of this paper. Try to understand this, that when we are like how your conductors are placed, your conductors are placed perpendicular to this plane of this means my desktop. So a current that is flowing in this direction, it will produce a magnetic means field in this way, means plane of this your plane of this desktop screen, and thereby the EMF will always make an angle of 90 degree, because you can apply Fleming's right hand rule to figure out the direction of EMF. So that the generated EMF will be perpendicular, means either it will means try to point it into, or means it will come outward from the plane of the paper, or this plane of this our laptop screen. Now any EMF, like if we consider if you add this with this Q, then what you will get? You will get that the adding of this will add more voltage to positive terminal VQ in the means magnetizing vertically upward direction here. So this voltage is actually many. If you see using your Fleming's right hand rule, then uh, this is the direction of your thumb, right? So it is the direction of your thumb, and this is the direction of your, like, um, yes, just a minute, let me figure out. Yeah, so basically what we can see here, that this one is doing means it will act as an aiding voltage for this VQ. Like, it will appear, whatever voltage you will get, it will appear as a plus with this VQ. So when we are thinking about writing it in equation, we will have it, this will appear here as plus term. So therefore in the right side they will come as minus. Similarly, it is true for your I capital D also, right? And similarly you can figure out why this term is positive. Like, if you consider, it is basically opposing your VD, and thereby you are having this and positives here. Now if our flux waves are sinusoidally distributed, say let us consider sinusoidal flux distribution. So for sinusoidal flux distribution, what you will have, the rotation at a speed of theta dot is equal to omega, like for sinusoidal flux distribution, try to visualize that, means, how to make you understand. But if we consider magnitude wise, then this theta dot is equal to omega, the EMF produced at a speed of theta dot is equal to omega for a sinusoidally space distributed flux in space, but constant, having constant magnitude with respect to time t. So what does it indicate? That you are having your means, like DC machine, your flux is sinusoidally distributed, but flux means time, with respect to time your flux is constant, right? Now that same thing you can visualize, like that will be exactly same effect you can get if you have a steady, means space invariant but a time varying flux that executes an oscillation at a, just let me check whether it's recording or not. recording. Huh. So that executes or having a frequency of uh, omega, where that omega is equal to this theta dot. Like if you make a complete traversal around your machine, means through if you walk on the inner periphery of the machine while the machine is having time invariant but sinusoidally distributed flux pattern with respect to space, whatever flux variation you will realize throughout that means your uh, one complete traversal, the same kind of flux variation you would receive if you means decide to means means if you decide to play the role of a mute spectator, means mute and means a traveler who means doesn't move, who means wait there for a long while, and instead of having a constant flux field, you are having a winding that is carrying alternating current and thereby producing a flux that is changing with respect to time. So, this is very important understanding what I was means trying to make you understand during our last lecture on generalized theory of electrical machine. The first statement of Professor Korn that it is totally immaterial as long as you consider the generated EMF. The same amount of generated EMF can be induced by means of transformer action or can be induced by means of dynamic action. So, if you consider distributed flux in space, then what you need, if your flux is time invariant but distributed in space, then you need to make a constant traversal through the space. So, your space angle, you can make your space angle changing with time, and thereby you can experience variation of flux, because for time invariant flux, if you maintain a constant position inside your machine enclosure, then you will not experience any flux variation. On the contrary, if you consider a means flux that is produced by a standstill winding, and that flux is produced by an alternating current, then the flux itself will oscillate and you will experience the time varying flux. And thereby, if you are a conductor, then you will become a seat of a conduct means EMF, whose magnitude will become equal for both this experiment. So, constant magnitude with respect to time t, and so yes. Right. Now, here under this condition, therefore, what you will get your GDQ is equal to LQ, GQD is equal to LD, and your GQD is equal to MDD. Now this equality, there will be a slightest problem if you have saliency in your any of your structure is having a salient pole configuration, like either the rotor or the stator, because apparently it may gives you an impression that having a salient pole structure, you will still have your flux sinusoidally distributed in space, but try to understand that it is all about your, like, it is all about means not only the flux but also the permeance of the path that plays a key role. Permeance or reluctance of the path is likely to vary in case of a salient pole machine. Like in case of a salient pole machine, if you make a complete space traversal of angle 360 degree on the inner periphery of your machine, you will face a different space position will be associated with different value of your reluctance. But in case of cylindrical construction, or when the stator and rotor forms a concentric cylinder, the stator forms a hollow cylinder and rotor forms a solid inner cylinder, at that time you will have an even air gap between stator and rotor, and therefore that means reduce the computational effort to a great extent. But let us see. First, we will consider the means normal one, like cylindrical one, and then we will go to the salient pole one. So, the voltage equation is normally what we know, that is V is equal to Z I, right? So, what we can have here, so in this way you will get G d q theta dot, or as per our just discussion, it will become L D in case of cylindrical machine, like this is the normal equation for our primitive machine. Now we will see that how this we can apply for slip ring and squirrel cage motor. Like we will try to fit our different machine with their equation with this primitive machines equation, right? So just a minute. So let us first discuss the matrix equation of slip ring induction motor and SCIM. First, we must understand that what is the difference between slip ring and commutator. See, in commutator, you actually means commutator commute means before means a conductor or an armature coil pass or means getting touch with the commutator, it carries current in a direction, and once it reaches commutator, then the commutator do something to reduce its current to zero value, and then the commutator allows the coil to carry current in different direction. Means commutator, the what commutator commute means you are allow means changing the path of a current or path of someone. So here it is the current. So commutator, but in case of squirrel cage, slip ring induction motor, you are taking it out, but you are not causing any change. Change is if change takes place due to any internal action or means due to an alteration of induced EMF, then only flux will change. But here it is not changing; it is remaining same. Therefore, that the basic of these machines are same and different from that commutator motor, and the machine rotor winding are short circuited internally, and their equation is V is equal to Ri plus L, sorry, not L, d dt into flux linkage. Here, obviously, one thing we should consider that we are not considering the case of slip power injection. Here we are considering just normal course of operation where you do not at least inject any power through slip ring. The slip rings are just used to consider the means adjust the rotor circuit resistance and reactance, but not any induced EMF. Now V is our terminal voltage and I is the current, R is the resistance. This equation, sometimes we call this equation as Maxwell circuit equation. Right. Now here we need to assume that the circuit is linear. And the flux linkage of each winding we can express as a sum of flux linkage due to individual current. That means obviously when you consider means still let me write it clearly that the magnetic circuit obeys the principle of superposition. The magnetic circuit obeys principle of superposition. Right. So if there is n number of winding, what we can write for our machine? For n number of winding, that will be V1 is equal to R11 I1 plus d dt. You can write P also. L11 I1 plus M12 I2 plus M13 I3 plus till M1n In this. Then you are having V2, everything will remain same, just all the 1 will be replaced by 2, and therefore you will have now here we do not specify m, we keep it as a variable. It depends on the number of winding that is present in your machine. So writing it for all n number terms and expressing the operator for, so similarly we will have Vn, equation for Vn. Now writing it for, we can write V1 is equal to, so again replacing ddt by P, we can write R11 I1 plus P L11 I1 plus P M12 I2 plus P M13 I3. Well, here I just forgot to write that. Okay. Good enough. And then it results what? See, now I placed it in such a way, these two are forming the diagonal element. Similarly here, these two, they are forming the diagonal element. We can write like and V2 is equal to just V2 is equal to So it is মানে it the underlying fact here is that P applies to the product of inductance within the bracket and current outside the bracket in every case. Like means this P here they will act on this M13 as well as on I also. Like if you have, if you are not getting it, let me tell you, if we have something like an inductance L and current sorry, current IT is equal to say 10 sine omega t, then the voltage will be how much? If this is LT, then the voltage will be d dt LT IT. So although you are writing it like TLT, you club PLT together, but when this PLT will try to work on this, then it will become LT d IT dt plus I T L DL T dt, right? In that way it will work. So here you are having this one. So this gives us I'm on writing 1 2 because we do not know the limit. So here it is like if we keep on writing, that is R1 plus P L11, then PM 12 PM 13. This is P. Right. So from this, what we can do is that we can go for further diagonalization, like due to shortage of space, I need to write it in a compact manner. here it is. Similarly, you are having here M1N, M2N, LNN, and here I1, I2, I8. So what we can write in a compact form, we can write it like it is equal to V is equal to R I plus B L I. I am using bold font to indicate that these are vectors, n-dimensional vectors. This R belongs to R n cross n, and similarly L, this L actually consider both mutual and the self-inductance, that also belongs to n cross n. Now here what is the problem with this? That in many cases we will notice that inductances are function of angular position of the rotor, and therefore they are also quite often become time functions. And this differential, when you do differentiation, then we will see that although those differential equations are linear but do not in general have constant coefficients. The problem is that we means when we are looking for this kind of representation, having a constant representation is constant coefficient is always advantageous in terms of representing it in matrix form. So what we can do is that we can transform it to a different coordinate system where we can have the constant means coefficient. In our next video, we will discuss that how a two-phase machine will do it for a two-phase induction machine with uniform air gap, and then we can do it the generalization for our means three-phase and other multi-phase machines. That generalization will help us to realize important thing, that how we can do transformation from one axis to another, right?